episode number 1 of many. We're going to kick it off. We have number 1, Luca Nets. Quick intro.
CEO of Pudgy Penguins.
Easy.
Friend of Mo.
Easy. Peter.
Thanks, brother.
CCO of Pudgy Penguins and founder of Bureau.
And
Just
Fez.
so happens to sponsor this video, and production is done by this company as well.
The best.
I'm Fez Warsani. I'm the CEO of Sweet Dreams and also own a donut truck.
Nice. I'm Mo, founder of Seed Phrase Daily. And yeah, we're going to kick off this podcast. We're going to talk about e-commerce coming from Web 2 to Web 3, Pudgy Penguins, obviously, and then everything else in between. First things first, I think we can kick it off with Instagram's latest news, right, in the NFT space. Buy, sell, and create NFT avatars and NFTs on the actual app. Do you think this is bullish or bearish for the space?
I think it's bullish, but they dropped it at the wrong time because it's a bear market right now. No one's really talking about it. I mean, like, you know about it because you're in the space, but from what I've seen so far and how I feel about it, like, I don't really care because, no one's, people still care about NFTs quite a bit, as Luca knows, but I don't know. I feel like right now is wrong timing. Should have been done when there was more heat.
Just pass the baton to Pete. Pete, what do
It
you think?
What do you
It
think,
doesn't have to
brother?
be in order.
Well, no, we can just keep going
Yeah.
back and forth. But what do you think, CEO of Pudgy Penguins?
No,
do you
I
think
think
you think that was a wise move?
Well,
Yeah, I think it's great. I
Let
think it's gonna be great for us.
I think because they reported poor earnings, this was also
well, the interesting thing about the news that broke out was 2 things that stood out to me is 1, Instagram or Meta is covering all gas fees for transactions, right? 2 is they're using the Polygon network. Polygon's been doing a lot of the biggest collaborations. Like, we've seen them do a collaboration with Starbucks. We've seen them do a collaboration with Disney, now with Instagram, Facebook, Meta. So I think just Matic in itself as a coin, Polygon obviously as a blockchain, is doing a lot of great business development moves during the bear market, which a lot of people are sleeping on. Luca, I've seen you tweet about that.
Yeah, it's the best business development team in crypto, and it probably is going to be a great coin in the future. And I had 40 million Matic at one point. I was in Miami, maybe 2020 during the pandemic, and I was with Ian and Nick, and we were at this Airbnb, and then I had 40 million Matic, and Ian was like, yeah, sell it and like send it to me for like buy this like strong token, like some other ones. So I'm like, and I just sold all the Matic. It was like pennies. And then it'll probably end up being like one of those where you're like, oh, that was like, I could have had $200 million if I would have held.
Wow. Wow.
We'll see. But I mean, it already is like would have been $30 million if I would have held it today,
Wow. Holy shit.
even with today's prices.
Let me ask you this.
Makes
So
me sick.
what kind of interaction have you guys been, like, have you had any type of interactions with them, with obviously working with Pudgy and Matic? Is there anything there that you think like, okay, this makes sense, we should do some type of collaboration?
Yeah, so we have a part of our business that has like a scalable, NFT solution that we kind of are going to be rolling out in Q1. And so we partnered with Polygon on that. I think it's the only chain that makes sense to do it, in my opinion. And they're covering the gas fees. So like they're very like pro partner.
Nice.
They're like, yo, we'll cover the fee. I was like, all right, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, whatever.
Thanks, help a
gas
brother out.
for sure. Speaking of obviously Pudgy, right? I think a few weeks ago you were on a podcast and you said one thing that stood out was you said it's unfortunate that you can't change stuff to the project because you took over it, right?
Yep.
When it comes to times like this, you see a lot of different projects doing, changing art styles, or there's a new meta every now and then. What do you think is, or what is like 1 or 2 things that you guys take a look at the project? And Peter, pitch in here, obviously, because what you do plays a big role in terms of the aesthetic and the branding and the positioning of the brand. What are some flaws that you see about the Pudgy Penguins as is right now that you're like, I wish I could change some of this stuff?
I'll take this one.
Okay. Don't be like too like critical, because I know we could have like go. Just say what you want.
I think the one thing that was missing, and we're looking at it now, and we're just like, we wish that it was already in place, was a brand narrative. Like the story in the world is not in place, and so for a project that's already launched without a real story behind it, for us now we kind of have to work backwards and think, okay, where do these penguins live?
Yeah.
What is their journey? Like, what's the process here? And then, so those are one of the biggest things I think
Yeah.
for us, because
Spot on.
it's a catalyst across several different verticals that we're trying to pursue. So right now we're in the middle of trying to reposition the company, trying to figure out who we are down to our core. And with that comes the actual narrative itself. So that's probably my biggest thing as somebody who's, on the front lines of brand.
Yeah, I would agree, because it's like usually goes like story, content, product.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how you would build something like this. And like we're coming into an existing product, like having to meet the mark of like attention span. So having to deliver content and then developing story, and like you're like the order is different. So it's definitely a challenge. But I will say this, like for me personally, like the challenge has been well accepted. Like I've evolved, I think, more as an entrepreneur in the last 6 months since I've taken over than like my entire career. So
Wow.
And I think part of that is because of like you're put into a box and you have to like expand the box and like work outside of the box, but also work within the frame of the box, because there's already an existing community, there's already an existing narrative, there's already existing artwork, there's already existing everything.
Yeah.
And so like it's like how you teeter with the pendulum is like pretty. It's like something I've never experienced before. Usually you just have full creative freedom. You just do whatever the heck you want.
And you're also doing all of that with a massive community watching you do it the whole time. Yeah. So every move you make, you have to question it and be like, is the community going to like it? Are they actually going to like it? And that's super stressful. I've never been like, every move that I make is literally judged by thousands of people in the community with, higher tier, managing members. Like it's pretty intense.
I think that's one of the biggest blessings and curses in the NFT space is like, there's a quote I read the other day. It's like great leaders or the best leaders know exactly what their customers or their people want, right? They know how to put themselves in their shoes. And I think the NFT space, any leader, like especially for you, for example, Luca, I feel like Pudgy's been doing a really good job because the community is very active and loud in a helpful way, because you gave them, in a sense, or you came in and you took over the project and you didn't ask them for money to build, if that makes sense.
But it's also like, this is the only company that it's under new ownership.
This is the only NFT project or Web3 company that's been bought and not raised money to start.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is a very unique story and gives you guys some type of advantage that a lot of people wish they had, in a sense.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
No, it's totally an advantage, because it's like, usually the hardest part about this business is the mental toughness part, right? Like what this like hive of people can do to you when the paradigm shifts to like, oh, we hate you, you suck. Like that really hurts people. And it takes a special type of human to be able to like, bear that responsibility and deal with that. In my situation, I have an advantage because it's like, not only did we buy the project and we put a lot of money to buy it, but like the opportunity cost to like do this and to pursue this, it's like, you can't sit there and be like, and like put me on a crucifix and be like, yo, you're just like, you should like, you know what I mean? I'm doing the best we possibly can. I stepped down from huge opportunities. Like, dude, everybody on this team had huge opportunities and huge focuses. Like the opportunity cost alone is just like exponentially more than what we've, spent to actually buy it. And like, we're actually delivering. So people are seeing that, and we've yet to like really encounter a bump in the road, but that time will happen. And so, we'll see how that like goes. But at the end of the day, like if you really look at what we're doing compared to everybody else with exponentially more money, with exponentially more resources, and has been, leading their project since pretty much day one, like we're doing more. Like I know what everybody else is doing. Like our output is greater. And it's like, how?
Are you an avid supporter of Pudgy Penguins?
I am. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Before that, I want to take a step back. And we all come from e-commerce backgrounds, right? And I know we're going to get to this. And we'll talk about me selling Pudgies later.
Okay, so let's just
we'll talk about this
you
later.
don't support Pudgy
Penguins. It's going to be
Penguins.
more entertaining later once we actually go into it. But what I want to talk about is like we all come from e-commerce backgrounds, right? And
you
Luca,
done e-com?
Peter, for example, you branding e-commerce, building communities, products, working with influencers. Would you guys say there was a method to the madness? Like, did we all arrive here in the Web3 space because the opportunity was there, or do you think you're like, if it wasn't Pudgy, is there another opportunity you see like, okay, I would have probably been doing this right now if it's not Pudgy? I guess that's my question. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't Web3? Right? Because we've been marketing, we've been building for years now.
I'd probably still be Gel Blaster.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, for me, like, there was no reason to leave Gel Blaster. I just thought to myself, you know, which one do I think can impact more people and which one do I think has the higher upside? And so I was like, okay, I'm doing my thing at Gel Blaster. The hard part we got over the hard part. Like, Gel Blaster was like prove product market fit, make a viral product. Like, at that point, like, Walmart and all these big, like, that got easy. So I thought to myself, like, okay, what more can we do here? Like, NASCAR sponsorships, commercials, like, that's not fun to me.
Yeah.
And so I'd probably still be doing that, but I thought to myself, I kind of weighed the options, like, which one do I think has higher upside and which one do I think is going to be more fulfilling and which one do I think is going to help more people? Yeah. And I, like, always had the vision that Pudgy Penguins, like, I had a vision for it when I, like, first bought into it over a year ago. But that's kind of, I'd probably still be doing that.
Peter, how about you? As a creative agency, you guys never been in Web3 before, right? This was kind of like your first attempt with Pudgy.
Pudgy Penguins was the first company, though we had so many opportunities tossed our way. And I think I was just two heads down in like actual like brand building, where like taking on a new project in a world that was so new. Like I just wasn't confident in it. And Fez was the first one.
We told you so many times.
100 times.
I have this on video, actually. I have a specific vlog where we're sitting in the car together.
My vlog. It's on my vlog.
No. It was my vlog. It was in my channel, in your car. And I was talking about doing some sort of an NFT. Not that like I had an idea for a project or anything. It's because of Luca. I saw how much money Luca was making trading the NFTs. And I'm like, okay, creating one and selling it under, our brand. It could work. And Peter, I don't even remember what your reaction was to that.
My reaction was you were trying to scam me, trying to have me do all the content.
He hated it. And it's crazy because your agency could have probably made... Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about the probablys because that's almost suicidal conversations there. But, I mean... I was in the car with you when we were trying to mint the apes, and I just didn't have enough ETH in my wallet.
Oh, dude, it was so crazy.
We were negotiating. I mean, tell the story.
Yeah. So we were in Austin, Texas. It was me, Jesse, Tori, Peter, and we just like had gotten. It was Gel Blaster and Hasbro wanted to buy us out. Yeah. So like Hasbro came, which is like Nerf. They came, they wanted to do a full buyout. They like made an offer. We were doing the negotiations and like we came to a deal. And right at this night, Mutant Apes does a stealth drop. And I'm like, bro, I'm loaded with ETH, bro. I'm like fucking to the brim on my phone. I got so much ETH.
You said it in Nets trades too.
I did, didn't I?
I did. I specifically remember this.
I did. I told everybody stealth mutants, but it looked like an L because for months those things were underwater. Yeah. But dude, I fucking maxed ape like 50 of those things. I minted, the mutants, and I told him, and because like he was just getting the NFTs, and I had him buy like a shitty one, like some helmet.
Okay. First of all, let me hold on. He's telling a story where he comes out winning. Okay. Like we're not talking about anything else here. So what really happened was that the morning of, we were at a Gel Blaster event with Hasbro, and we were like demoing the product at this gorgeous mansion, like something as big as this. And Tori and Luca are like sitting behind the laptop, like, oh, you can't mint. I'm trying to mint this. I'm trying to mint this, dude. And at that time, he showed me Pudgy Penguins.
Yeah.
He showed me that's the first NFT I've ever laid my eyes on that I asked him, I was like, why would you buy this in the first place? He's like, bro, these things are moving like crazy. There's so much movement here. And I'm like, I don't get it. So I was in the middle of trying to mint one penguin, which I didn't mint. So I did Rough Riders or whatever they were. It was like some riders. It's just worthless. Bikers, yeah. So later that night, we're in the car and we're driving to a dinner to go
with Hasbro.
No. It's not. It wasn't in the car.
It was in the house.
We were in the house with
final
Colin.
Negotiation.
Dude, I swear to God, it was me, Tori, Luca, the Hasbro team, the lawyers, and Colin. And we were all sitting across from each other in the living room, and they were like negotiating. They were like, all right, what do we have? We have rights here. We have rights there. And Tori's like, Peter. Yeah. I'm like, yo, what? He's like, can you send me some ETH? I'm like, for what? He's like, I'm all out. Can you send me some ETH? I'm like, what are you trying to do? He's like, I'm trying to mint these apes. And bro, it was just like a thread going back and forth about minting this shit.
And then once I look at my phone, it's so funny because it went just like literally how he said it. And once I catch wind of what's going on, I'm like, I moved to like Tori, so like they're doing their lawyer thing, so like I move very quietly around the back of the couch, and I'm so like, so what's up? He's like, yo.
During a negotiation.
Yeah, like
it was a serious multi-million-dollar negotiation.
Big
We're
money on the line
minting.
here, right? And like they need my I'm having valid input on the conversation, and then I'm like, holy shit, dude! And then like I literally just like max bid, and I send as much as I can to Tori, and he fucking mints 50 of these things. Dude. Jesse doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't even know how to work his MetaMask. He's like 4 phones are going back and forth. Tori's making this happen. We're doing this deal, and then we fucking.
So long story short, I'm the Muppet. Everybody got to mint.
Yeah, except for him.
Oh, man.
And then I paper handed those things underwater, dude.
Let me guess. You sold them for like 2 ETH.
2-3 ETH, and I just go straight to 40. I'm like, and then with the ape, I was like, dude, that's my most disgusting NFT loss for sure. I just paper handed them.
Wow. Okay, hold on. There's a few things I want to talk about here, right? Because I think that story exactly reflects the culture we have in Web3, which is you have a multi-million-dollar deal in your hands, pretty much secured, but you're chasing the shiny object that everybody's talking about.
Dude, it wasn't the shiny object, dude. It was a mutant ape, bro. Get your shit right. These things are crazy, bro. I had M2s through the roof, bro. I minted all M2s, dude. Things turn out to be worthless. There's no difference between M2 and M1, bro.
That's crazy. Okay,
but Hasbro, I'll tell you this. Like, kudos to us. Because like we put Bored Apes onto the entire Hasbro C-level suite. Wow. Like the whole C-level suite of Hasbro. He'll tell you, bro. We were at dinner, like it was, I think people were kind of pissed, truthfully, like on probably on our side, on the Gel Blaster side, because like, dude, we made that whole dinner about these goddamn mutant apes, bro. Yeah, bro. It was all about the mutant apes. He'll tell you, dude. We were going back like they were eating sushi and like foie gras, and I was like, oh.
Half the night was talking about how this was the future, NFTs were the future, and they were like, what? Like the possibilities.
Should we
here?
not buy this Gel Blaster anymore?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so what happened to the deal?
Oh, I mean that's a whole other episode here.
Because of the apes.
I mean, no. I mean, if anything, like, I mean, dude, I literally gave them a freaking free 20x, 30x. Like they should. I think one of them actually ended up buying one. Wow. But the deal, I mean, you could just Google.
Yeah, Google what happens.
Google what happens, and then you'll be like, oh shit. Yeah.
Okay, let me Google this right now. Hold on. I want to see the reaction. Hold on.
Yeah, it's on Google, dude. What are they gonna say? I think Colin would like me bringing awareness to it.
Okay, what am I Googling? What am I Googling?
It was very
like, dude, it was like pretty shady.
Huh?
What am I?
Yeah, Gel Blaster Hasbro. Look it up.
Blaster Hasbro. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Moment of truth.
It's gonna be some controversial shit. And read the headline out loud.
Hold on. I got T-Mobile, guys. Give me a minute.
All right, hold on. Maybe I'll pull it up faster than you, brother.
Oh, Hasbro introduces its new Nerf Gel Fire Gel Blaster. Wow. So they pretty much bit the whole product off.
Yeah, it's if I really explain this story, I might like go crazy, but I'm personally now removed, so I'm not going to do that. Like, yeah. And I'm really close with some of those people at Hasbro. So
Gel Blaster doesn't have any patents.
I mean, dude, it's very complicated, but there's like if you keep scrolling and like going through different pages, you'll see like shit that like, oh, you're like, oh, whoa.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Investing or building?
Ooh, this is actually a good one. I've learned the hard way, dude. I think building.
Why? I want to hear everybody's take on this.
Because like building is investing in yourself. It's like investing is the same thing. And like in a bull market, investing, you feel like such a genius. Like, dude, I turned fucking... Bro, you saw my Robin Hood, the fucking up and then the down. Like, bro, you'd be like, what the heck?
Well, there's a difference between losing money on options and investing into stocks.
That's true.
Too. There's a big difference. Because you're not investing into options. You're just buying it to hopefully make money off.
Yeah.
Use the options code. I think just building. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're going to make more money, like, in a giant, like, dude, the exit's where the real money's made. Like, people just want to make monthly income, and, like, that's great, but, like legacy is made from building. Like, legacy is not made from like investing. I mean, you can, but Fez might have a better take. Fez,
and
your
when
turn to
you're
chime in.
when you're building also, because I feel like we do both. We build
Yep,
and we
yep.
also invest. So I think building gives you more control over what you're going to be doing, like how much money you're going to be making, etc. Investing, you're taking a little bit more of a strategic gamble based on, you know, past success of the company, leadership of the company, etc. It's no different than buying a Pudgy Penguin and betting on Luca and the whole team to, you know, take this project, you know, even further than it already has been. But I personally think that building is better. But on the topic of like investing and like options trading and all that kind of stuff, I think that, you know, that's Luca, you and I can both agree that that was kind of like a zero sum like game for us. Like we did it for so long. We did it for like a year and a half through the whole bull market. But at the end of the day, we come out like, I don't know about you, but like I made money off of it, but it wasn't like a life-changing amount. If I had spent that time working on my brand, I would have probably,
100%.
it would have came out much higher. I would be more near to a point where I'd want to be. Like you can go back in time and try and change things in your head, but the reality of it is, you know, now we know that building is truly better than investing. But like, there's so many successful investors that we know, like, you know, Rippy, Kevin,
here,
Zach Morris.
Oh,
that fool be trading options now too. He's killing it.
No, Zach Morris.
Yeah, because his anytime he would tweet a ticker, there were like inverse like hedge funds that would short his plays almost immediately. So you couldn't.
I remember mid-COVID, Zach Morris was the hottest Twitter account.
Dude, because he just called two crazy ones. And the thing is with me and like the trading is like my problem is like I hit so big on a couple like retarded that then I would just get like chopped in the nonsense.
Chopped in the nonsense, and you
AMC made me, bro.
AMC, holy fuck.
Dude, I called that shit at the fucking putt.
$2 or $3.
Bottom, bro. $2, $1.50, dude.
Did you buy any, Peter? You did.
Of course.
We just get chopped, dude. I just like.
Oh yeah.
And then my real killer. I'll tell you this. My real killer is I kept on crushing Amazon and shop earnings every time, and then the one time I decide to go like all chips on the table is when Amazon just has that ridiculous miss, and it's like about to break out of that wedge. You know what I'm talking about, Fez?
You called me the day before. You asked me if you should do it. I said no. You're an idiot,
dude. And because I'd gone 2 for 2, and I'd made like 200 grand on one and like 250 on another, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put it all. And I just it's zero. And then wake up in the morning and like the chart would quite literally get me like laughed at on Reddit. Like it would go viral on Reddit if I release it. He hasn't seen it. He's like my best friend. Like no one's seen this chart, bro. It's like I'm like I want to show it to people when like he doesn't feel anything, but like him laughing would make me feel bad, and he would for sure laugh, and everyone would laugh. I would laugh. I would laugh at me if you show me a screenshot like that, bro. I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And like so like it's like one of the sick ones, but like once we bounce back, we'll all talk about it. Building, dude.
Peter, same thing for you?
Depends on investing where. So I've had 2 successes investing. So, but they were investing into like actual like operators and people who I grew up with and who I worked with and who I saw were really hard workers. And when I came up with a great concept, I was like, fuck, if I executed this correctly, I can make a lot of money on this. And so instead of handling 5-10 different businesses, I ended up investing into actual like CEOs, building them up, showing them how to run the business, and then just giving them, 2-3 clients to work with, or just putting them on some sort of stepping stone. And then from there, they just grow themselves. And then that's what I count as like my successful investments. Gel Blaster, is a great company that I was able to be a part of and at least control the outcome of my investment, because I know I worked hard for it. There wasn't some other agency who was just burning cash. Like I know I, worked overtime, and I know I like really grinded for this. And it goes the same with, my other involvement. So investor, when it comes into building products, so it kind of to me is like merged into. I love building everything that I invest into. So
I like his model too. I like his model is interesting, but like I think when investing is like vague, like what type of investing. If we're talking like stock, that's like so many different things. But I like venture investing. His investing, what he does is really interesting. He venture invests, right? And then because he has this asset in this agency that knows how to like determine outcomes, he'll like make sure that his investment won't go to shit. You know what I mean? And that like it'll actually grow. Like I like the way and like I kind of have like I don't have the resources that he does. So like, but mentally I can be like strategically like, I know how to avoid making mistakes. But like he could really go in there, and then like not only that, like the company will pay him some money, so like he could also kind of like break even on it all when it's all said and done, and then just have like free floating equity. Like I really like, but it's like you're not going to find another agency that's better than what his agency does. Like truthfully, you know what I mean? For what they know how to do, I really believe they're the best. But like I love his model for that. Like if you really think about it, it's like, oh, it's pretty freaking genius.
And that's why we're together building Pudgy Penguins. Like all of us came in. There were, a handful of people who came in and bought the company, and we are all operators too. Like we were having a conversation about who's going to be our COO, and we were like, we're all our own operators. Like who needs to hold us accountable? Like once our money is on the line, you don't need to call us and be like, hey, is this done? Or hey, are we on track to hit this milestone? We know, like we work for our own cash, especially now when cash is just is so more essential than So we hold ourselves accountable, and investing and building something that we really believe in, I think is the way to go if you have the ecosystem already built. It took me 4 years to build out an ecosystem that now works today.
And I think all of us are in a very unique position. I wanted to add this before when I was talking about investing, but we all come from an e-commerce background, right? So we are familiar with everything when it comes to the business, from conceptualizing the brand to finding the product to doing customer service to doing marketing and everything. I feel like people in the e-commerce community are they have an advantage compared to the rest of the people. You guys were able to acquire Pudgy, and you guys are doing everything in-house just because why? Because you had the experience behind it. Yeah. I did my project because I knew how to market. I knew how to like build a brand. I knew how to foster a community. I knew how to sell a product. So whenever you, there are many drop shipping products. So whenever you donut shop, it's about to bounce back. Just watch. But despite its, I don't even want to get into that because people have their own subjective views. But regardless of that, to be able to come up with an idea, be able to sell it to a whole community, to a niche market, it all stems down from our roots and where we start from, which is e-commerce. And Peter has been doing this design stuff. Literally, I've seen it from day one. I think I was your first client too, right?
No, I definitely was his first.
No, under 404 is like a full brand build out.
Dude,
was that the first?
Then we had Social Snowball. Social Snowball was a product that we launched. It was Sweet Dreams with Gold Gods too. Remember, it was so early on. If I look back at everything I did, I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. Why the hell are you charging this much? But the lessons had to be learned. Like they had to.
It was one of those things. You know what I'll tell you. I'll give you some game. No. But I'll tell you this though, and this is something to know. And people, Blake, you might want to try and listen to this, and you might want to listen to this too. Everyone should listen to this. But somebody that I respect, I think out of all the entrepreneurs, like all like the guys speaking into the camera, trying to give you game, I think the number one guy is Alex Hormozy, hands down. Like completely, everything he says is legit, not a scammer, has a wife, integrity. You can like totally, you can see through people. I can see through people at least. Like that dude is like just a straight up guy. If anybody wants a role model, it's that dude. So I've been listening to his podcast like really frequently, and he brought up this like interesting thing, and it brings up to your point. But he's like, basically what his acquisition.com does, and there's multitude different verticals, but like you'd be surprised how you could be charging exponentially more and you'd lose no clients. Yeah. Like that's what like a lot of people realize. Like his whole thing is he started like, and again, there's like a couple different tweaks, but he'll come into a business and like a gym, for example, and he'll be like, okay, like I'm going to double your revenue in a month. And they're gonna be like, sure. And all he does is a little product research, and he's like, okay, I'm doubling your price. Goes into the Shopify backend, doubles the price, and now the revenue's doubled and they've lost no clientele. Yep. And that's all he did. It was like a little product research, a little understanding of the market, and then just doubled the price. He's like, bro, you'd be so surprised. There's like 4 or 5 of those tricks. That being one of his tricks. But going to your point, where it's like, dude, you'd be surprised. Like split testing, your offer and how much you're charging for things. It's actually like when things are more expensive, people are actually more willing to buy.
Exactly.
It's like crazy. Yeah, and it's like, dude, he's like, I literally tripled the LTV of this, gym that was going under. and all I did was triple the price. All I did is go into and click a couple buttons.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
pretty
true.
nuts.
I think on the agency side though, like you got to build up a name and you got to build
course,
stuff.
of
You're not
course,
gonna like
for
come out
sure.
as a starting agency and charge 20,000 for a website.
For sure.
They'll think you're
But
insane.
in general too, though, that's always been a thing. Like I think I covered this with Peter the other day. We have this new brand we're launching, obviously, and one of the main things I've been doing is I've been bumping up the price of our main winning product a few bucks every 4 or 5 days just to see if the conversion rate drops, and it has it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
You got to be
like,
careful
this
with
makes-
that because you can always,
Of course.
you can't
It's different. I
always
think this
go
is
up.
more service. Like it's more like
Exactly,
high-end info
exactly.
product. Like I think D2C is just so competitive that
Yeah.
like I wouldn't do that there. But like agency models, certain things that are like again gyms, like there's ways that you can position things that I think.
Well,
is
I
super
think the rule
interesting.
for that is people like to have things they can't afford or they can't have in
Yeah.
general, right? So I think like our culture has just been programmed to be like, okay, that's expensive. I'm going to work hard to get it. And I think that's why it works in a lot of different business models and products, just because people now like more expensive things.
They do, and there's also financing platforms like Sezzle
Yeah.
and Affirm that
Not
can
in this
make these.
economy.
They can make these
Cheaper
purchases.
things.
They can make these purchases a lot easier too
Yeah.
on the D2C e-commerce side. But like obviously like work.
Well, it's coming to
agency.
the NFT space though.
What?
Is it?
Yeah. Buy now, pay later. There's that.
I mean, it totally could. I mean, that's the whole point of Ethereum.
makes
Like
no-
Ethereum would literally
course.
do that. It would lock your
What's
WETH,
that
and
one
that's
company?
great.
What I
like
covered
that.
this. I sent you this.
It's gonna
bro.
get crazy in
I
10
covered
years,
this
bro.
a while ago, bro. I told you there's I think it's called, one of the first ones that dropped was obviously Bored Ape, and it was Ape Now Pay Later. And it's a service, and they raised like a few $1 million.
I believe that though.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that makes sense because that's like the whole point of Ethereum. It's like binding contracts. And so like you're looking at how WETH works. Like as long as you have a finite amount of WETH, I
Exactly.
could just pay 0.25. They'd front me the rest. I mean, I can't move the rest.
If not, they'll grab it
They'll
right
just
back
grab
from
it
you.
right.
That's the whole point of the blockchain.
But they also take on an inherent risk based on how much the NFT is worth. So if it, I mean, the apes and all these things, sure they've had like how much of a percentage drop, like a 70% drop from highs. So imagine you buy an ape at the highest, the financing company takes that much of a risk. They're losing 70% on that too, right? Like, actually, I don't. I'm
It
trying
depends.
To,
It
I'm
depends
trying
if
to
the
figure out
it
this-
depends if
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of
liquidation
different
actually
situations.
happens. And
Exactly.
And remember, it's denominated in ETH, so it's like it's
Yeah.
really 50% or like 40%. It's not. It's like 80% in US dollar, but
It's still them. It's still them taking on a very large risk too. So it's like.
And I think this is actually a perfect segue to the first topic we were talking about, which is like the whole idea of content commerce, right? Is like turning content into an actual product and vice versa. Like right now we're seeing obviously NFTs. It's not really content. It's more so a product that it's not really a product either. What's the best way to explain NFTs backwards right now? Like in typical business, right? You're launching a concept, product, brand, and then you're delivering to the customer. Here it's the opposite, right? In Web3. So the idea of like, what am I trying to say here? Peter, help, dude. Send Mayday.
Come on, host, figure it out. Come on. Content commerce.
Correct. Content commerce. So what is my question? My question is, okay, so much fucking content, man. That was the theme.
So much.
And NFT NYC.
You really got a lot of time. Okay.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to say is like just the whole idea of content commerce, obviously, and just being able to turn regular everyday items like, let's say, YouTube videos, these influencers now, the whole creator economy, like coming back into Instagram. Like imagine Logan Paul said, okay, this Instagram post, you can buy it, right? And it can be something very sentimental, something valuable that you get access to X, Y, and Z with.
Well, there was recently a headline for a what was it? The guy buying the first ever tweet as an NFT,
Oh
right?
yeah, they
And
have
that
a
shit's worth
$100
nothing.
offer now.
that was
So it's like,
stupid.
yeah, it's like, how much value are you really gonna get out of it? Like artists, like The Weeknd has dropped a song as an NFT as well. It's like, what really is the value or benefit behind that? Personally, I don't see it. You're investing into the artist, and sure, you feel some sort of sense of ownership.
Yeah.
But like, what real value is coming from that? Like, for example, like Logan Paul selling an Instagram post as an NFT.
Well, here's where I think the opportunity is, right? Think of, let's start with a small creator. Let's say a small creator that's very dedicated and they're going to grow hard, right? Their first 1,000 subscribers get, let's say, a soulbound token, right? That says, hey, this guy was here, the first 1,000 people. As I grow, me as a creator or me as a brand, I owe this guy something sentimental. I'm not going to promise anything, but I say, hey, because you were one of my first 1,000 customers or influencers or whatever the case may be, I'm going to give you product, free product, whatever the case may be. So I think when it comes to the creator economy, I think that's what it's going to turn into. Like we're going to see some of these biggest influencers in the world say, hey, these specific people based off data and some type of metrics that we can track are my most loyal fans. And these are the guys who deserve this NFT or whatever the case may be.
The thing is, it can be done without NFTs also. Like YouTube already has the
I think that it's like the two force. I think
it's
got to be.
You use the NFT name because it's like, oh, NFT buzzword, and then it maybe makes someone to click the buy button, but then the buy button goes through MetaMask, and you have to load the MetaMask.
So,
there's so much friction to
so
it. Versus like a YouTube subscription, the premium paid subscription, it's like you can get the same benefits out of it. But yeah, I get what you're saying, like with the tracking history. But it's not the same though,
because anybody can buy premium, right? But I'm saying,
well, no,
like the whole idea of NFTs is scarcity and exclusivity.
Yeah.
Well, let me chime in here because this is like where I spend most of my time thinking. Like all my critical thinking goes here, and I really separate it in two things. What we're trying to say is like, what's the utility of NFT? I think there's two things. I think on one spectrum, you have emotional utility.
Yep.
Emotional utility is, let's say I own a Pudgy Penguin and I go to, Walmart, I buy a Pudgy Penguin toy, I give it to my niece or nephew. I own, the first comings of that, whole company, which started with the NFT, and I give it to my niece or nephew. It's now their favorite toy. That's emotional utility. Or if I make a Pudgy Penguins Instagram post and it's like my Pudgy Penguin that's on the post and it's like, oh my God, like, this you see all the comments like this impacted me in such an amazing way. Like, I love you. Thank you, Pudgy. Then me being the holder and that being my penguin, like, oh, that's like cool. Maybe also community, right? Like emotional utility would be like, hey, like I met my best friend by owning a Pudgy Penguin. I met more friends, people that I hang out with, a girlfriend, right? Or a significant other. And so I think that's emotional utility. Right. On the right, which is what everybody really cares about, is transactional utility.
Correct.
How do you make me money, right? So price either goes up and you sell it, or you receive an airdrop, whether it's another NFT or a coin, and you sell it. That's really what people like want, right? Is they want you to make them money. Yeah. And so like
utility, they really want to get a flip out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that let's just call it for what it is. Now, I would argue that I think as the space matures, emotional utility would get more important, right? Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of like people that are yearning to be a part of something, and I think NFTs give that. And so I think as the space grows and we see real mass adoption, I think emotional utility will really matter. But in the short term, while it's a casino and there's a bunch of gamblers and that's what they care about, I think transactional utility is the focus. And so how, as a company like myself, how do I bring value so that either price goes up or that I give them something that they can sell that they can now turn a profit on? And so I think that is the existing ecosystem. But don't underestimate, and like I would know because I have family members, and Peter, I know you do too, but like there's people that are like different than what we are. Like we know what we know. We're businessmen, we're hustlers, we're entrepreneurs, we're in the working force. But like people, like a majority of people aren't like we're the 1% for a reason. Like a lot of people are just like in a different world and do different things and spend all their time on the computer and all their time playing video games and aren't too social. And this community aspect, the best thing that Pudgy Penguins has learned, and if this thing goes to zero or like all the contracts go and like they kick me out, this lesson that I learned was worth all the money, which is I never really understood the word community until I took this thing over. Now I knew it, right? But it's one thing to know the word, but it's one thing to really understand it. All the major companies in the world, the biggest companies in the world, have been built off of community. Yep. Apple has the strongest community. Chewy has the strongest community, right? Lululemon, the list goes. Nike, like all the major 20, 30, 40 billion brands. In Web3, it's the emphasis first. But in reality, if you really look at like how the world works, it's always been that. So I'm learning a superpower that I honestly neglected. Like, think about it from Gel Blaster.
Gymshark was the most recent good case study.
Gymshark killed community.
100% of their growth has been attributed to the community.
Exactly. But think about it. Like, think about it, Peter. Gel Blaster, like, when the word community come up, it came up like a couple times, but like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Think about the things I could have done for a Gel Blaster community.
Like what I see coming from a creator standpoint, like as we're diving deeper into the creator economy, where like you have individual talents out there and everything is so digital, like it's also, as an individual, going to allow you to earn more revenue just by sitting and doing the things that you like. And if you genuinely show true passion and people genuinely like it, you don't need to build massive Discord channels. People are just going to buy it, and then someone's going to resell it. Somebody else is going to see the value in it, resell it for more, and so on and so forth. And you're just going to start seeing these individual creators of all types, right? Whether you're a 3D designer to a graphic designer, or you're selling some sort of art, like there's going to be more flow of income for these people as individuals because of the power of the blockchain. And so I think that's where NFTs are really going to go. It's after the dust settles and everybody's like, you can spot fake where it's like pumps and, you know, like people are just in it for the money. People are going to start supporting individual creators, going to die down, and then it's going to mature as, you know, this thing that doesn't have a negative connotation as it does today. And that's why we don't call ourselves an NFT company. If anything, you know, we sell digital collectibles, but there's so much more from here. So
I mean, we're an IP company at the end of the day, right? Like that's what this is. But he brings up a good point. Like, you look at Facebook. Facebook is in the content creator business. YouTube is in the content creator business. TikTok is in the content creator business. All of the biggest companies in the world are in the content creator business. And there's never been a technology that has made the content creator more money than NFTs. Yeah. And that's how you know it's going to win. Correct. That's how you know it's undeniably going to win, because content creators bring their audience, they bring the eyes, they make the content that retains attention, and then they bring things in a certain direction, whatever direction they decide to lead. Content creators have never made more money than when they have in Web3. And so that's how you know, whether it takes 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, it won't take that long. I think we'll be there in 5 years, like completely there. That's why I was like, dude, I'm stopping everything that I'm doing. Like, dude, Gel Blaster is a multi-$100-million company. I was like, dude, screw this, because like this is like the next coming of Facebooks and the next coming of, you know, Pokemons and Teenage Mutant. It's all coming from this. Like, I promise you, I've really critically thought here with like everything that I know. Like, the content creators will bring everything here for one simple reason, because they're going to get more rich here than they will on YouTube. Yep. They're going to get more rich here than they will on Instagram. And they're going to get more rich here than they will on TikTok or any other platform, right? Going to Christie's, Sotheby's, it doesn't matter. You're going to get more rich in Web3 going that way. And so they're going to bring the people. We're going to plateau. We're going to die a little bit. And then we're going to come back to life like a rising phoenix, dude. That's my take. They just have all the money, dude. They have all the pull. It's audience.
And we've already seen so many of the Web2 brands coming out of these YouTubers and Instagrammers.
Well, we've seen them fuck up too a lot.
We've seen them fuck up, but we've seen some really, 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 really giant successes. Yeah. Mr. Beast is the biggest success.
But he's not Web3.
No, Web2.
I'm saying Web2.
Like real, actual physical goods that you can purchase.
I mean, he turned down $1 billion for his channel.
I'm saying right now though, that's where we're at. But when it
is he?
He's raising at a $1.5 billion valuation.
Yeah.
That's cheap. Yeah, Dark Knight Media.
I'm sure it won't take him that long to raise. I don't think he has to do anything.
No, he should. Yeah, and he probably raised in half a second. He should have raised at $10 billion. I would have raised at $10 billion.
I think they raised $100 million.
I think right now with the multiples and shit, I think he's trying to be very humble.
The market. The thing is, what people don't understand. This is my one thing. Content and IP doesn't matter if it's a fucking bear market, dude. Like, that's not how that works. It actually, like, it's the perfect hedge against a bear. Correct. You know what I mean? So if I was Mr. Beast, I'd tell those VCs, go screw yourself. If anything, my content is more valuable in a shitty market than it is in a better market, because in a better market, everybody else is making money doing things that are like making them rich. In a bear market, they've got nothing else better to do than to watch my content and consume my shit. You know, like, dude, content and IP, that's what I learned. Somebody told me this like a couple months ago, and I was like, oh my God. BlackRock, these major hedge funds all have IP diversity for that very reason. Yeah. You would be so surprised how much IP BlackRock owns. People don't know this. They have billions of dollars in IP under their belt. They're like, what? You're BlackRock. You're supposed to own real estate and shit. But it's a hedge, dude, because it never goes down. It might not go like exponentially parabolic, like, you know, some SaaS or whatever, but it's like steady growth upwards every single time. Lifetime value is huge. Think about, you know, Warner. I was at a conference and the president of Warner Bros. Literally said, he's like, we're targeting elementary school kids and preschool kids because the lifetime value from when we get them at 5, they are buying our products all the way until they're 50, and then their kids are buying it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, when he told me that, I was like, oh yeah, dude, you've got it all figured out.
Like Oreos, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been eating Oreos since I was fucking 5 years old.
Dude said Oreos.
Literally, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the first thing that pops in my head. What's one thing I've been eating since a kid and I've been buying? Oreos.
Pop-Tarts, Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah, it's a great point. You just get them while they're young.
That's crazy. How
True,
long
though,
have you
think
been going?
about that.
We're going on 48 minutes, so we got 12 minutes.
Keep going?
Yeah,
12 minutes. Yeah, I gotta go at 12 though. 12 minutes.
Huh?
I've got to leave in 12 minutes.
Okay,
My dogs literally have poop piled up in their
I think
stomach.
I got a good question for you guys here, for everybody. When it comes to building, right? I think one thing you were talking about
Bob the
earlier
builder
was-
over here, dude. Just nonstop building.
COO. I mean, what else you guys want to talk about? Ask the questions. Short notice. That's what I had. All the Pudgy questions are going to be saved for the next podcast. But
Nice.
what was my question? Okay, cool.
Building.
So would you guys rather have a business-minded person first on the team that's not so good at the specific talent that you're looking to fill up for? Or would you rather have somebody... What?
I don't know this question is.
Okay, here's what I'm
framed the right
saying.
way. But go on, finish, because I don't know how to answer this
Let me
question.
fucking finish, man.
Go ahead. Finish.
Go, dude.
Would you rather have somebody who business
What I'm trying
doesn't
to
know
what I'm
to
trying to
do?
say is, would you rather work with somebody who is a businessman first,
Okay.
or very good at the talent that you're looking for within that company that you're building?
I don't know how that makes any sense. If I'm hiring for a business role,
Okay,
I'm hiring somebody business
here's
first.
an example.
If I'm hiring a creator, I'm hiring a creator.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. Let's say you want a writer. Let's say you want a writer.
Okay, you want a writer. Yeah, I want a guy who can write. I don't need the writer coming into the room. Yo,
Okay.
so your burn's too high this month, brother. I'll be like, yeah, it's high. Maybe you should get out of here. Maybe you should write for free. Since my burn
Next
is too high
question,
this
man. We
month.
just lost a minute.
I like when Mo is getting attacked. Please keep it going. Please.
Okay.
Man, we'll cut
I
this
sold
one
my
out.
Pudgies.
I don't want my writers.
I sold my Pudgies for profit. Why is that a big deal?
Okay, that is a big
Piece of
deal. So we'll
shit
talk about
doesn't
this.
support his
All
friends.
jokes aside,
Okay.
Fez, you go chime in before I
Yeah,
before
I'm
I
gonna chime
eviscerate
in
him.
because I knew the moment that he sold.
Sold?
It was
'Cause I told you.
Was it before the NFT New York event or was it after?
No, it was when it actually pumped to 5 ETH. I think that was after the news because I had bought 5 ETH. We were at 5 ETH.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5
dude,
ETH
come
that
on,
one.
we hit that shit twice, bro.
Bro, okay, here's exactly what happened. Right,
Pudgy's strong.
first,
dude.
I bought in when Luca first tweeted at Cole and he said the ball's in your court. That's when I bought in. Okay. The floor around there was between like 1.8, 2.2. I bought one for 1.8, one for 2 ETH. I remember this vividly. Okay. Those negotiations took months.
They did.
And when I bought, I could have bought more because it dumped. The floor dumped all the way down to like 1 ETH, I think, at that time. And again, I remember this very good.
Yeah.
And then the whole little Pudgy's claim happened, so on and so forth. And then when you guys officially took over the project, I was like, bet. This is what I've been waiting for the last fucking 4 months. I'm going to take my profits. And that's
sold into
exactly
the
what I did.
But okay, so
Tell me.
I don't mind. I don't mind that lot. I thought you like sold recently.
No.
No,
Okay.
bro.
Okay, but
No.
so you
I
basically
bought
bought
the
the hype, bought the rumors, sold
Sold
the
the news.
news. Exactly. Okay,
He did
so
what
that's
he did
fair.
what a good trader would do.
Yeah, it was.
But
a
he
good,
did
it
what
was
a-
a good trade. It was a good
He
trade.
did what a bad friend would do, though.
Yeah. So let's. But no. But let's just talk about this.
Okay.
Would you agree that buying a Pudgy Penguin is a bet on me and Pete?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so
But-
you're
okay, but here's my thing,
No,
right?
brother,
Because
no but.
you
That's a
mentioned-
simple
no,
question.
Let
We
me
need
finish,
funds.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Let
go.
me finish. Okay. Yes, I'm betting on you, but I'm also competing with 10,000 other people.
No,
I'm
that doesn't
counting
matter.
on
That doesn't-
10,000 other people to not dump the floor, bro. How do you know 90% of those people won't face a world crisis or some type of crisis that'll say, hey, I'm going to sell this for dirt cheap?
Because they
How
believe
can
in
you
us.
guarantee
Because
that?
go in the Discord, brother, and go see how strong those freaking penguins are, bro. They're like a freaking huddle.
Okay, but I'm saying in a world crisis, the guy has no money. He faces a situation where he has to sell.
So I have a question.
That's like
Not everyone.
Bro, that's
No,
what you
I'm
have
gonna-
to
I'm gonna
prepare
rip this
for,
one.
though.
No, dude.
There's no situation where every.
Have you heard I am my penguin is me, brother?
have
These
heard
things
that.
are like
that
like
started
we
after
started
you guys
it. We
took over.
started it all. Now
Yeah,
every
yeah.
NFT is like I am my this, I am my that.
brother.
No, dude,
The
it's
act
been I
of
am my
God does
penguin.
not count in a situation. Like you're
That's
just
like such
this
a
is-
silly statement.
That's a like
I don't think
like
so.
a
Well,
legal
okay,
agreement
as a friend
situation.
As a friend, I should be a holder, and I am of little Pudgies because that's where the alpha is, right?
Dude,
Is that not where the alpha is?
bro. You're literally rich, bro, and you don't own one big.
This guy
Pudgy.
was
It doesn't
pulling
make
up
any
the
sense.
Pudgy events, not even owning a Pudgy.
Dude, okay, so let's get back to the point. Let's get back to where I was trying to make.
Go back.
You agree that buying a Pudgy Penguin or a little Pudgy is a bet on Peter and myself, and it's a bet on more people than just that. But
Yeah.
Peter and myself, you would agree on that
Yes,
sentiment.
I agree.
So you do not believe in us?
I do.
So why did you sell?
Because I wanted to.
So do you believe that? No, but I'm saying, but do you believe that him and I, knowing what you know about us and what we've achieved against all odds, pretty much, dude, our situation, his situation is actually worse than mine.
I know.
Growing
He's
up, pretty
told
much
me.
homeless,
He's told me, yeah, he's
pretty much
told me.
homeless, single mom, 0 to where we are today. Look at this giant home of Peter's that we're in, right? Like literally sitting on his couch, right? But like, I'm just saying, like all things, like everything that you've seen, every company that we started, and like you've seen it, literally watched it happen. And you would, and you still like are just gonna fade.
Can
that?
you just buy a Pudgy right here, right now?
Like who do you
Right in
know?
front of
Like what other NFTs do you hold? That's a better question. Hold on. That's a better question. What other NFTs do you
pull
hold?
up the
I
ledger to
hold
buy it.
Clone X.
Okay. Listen, he's saying he still owns Clone X. Look at this.
Okay.
I hold Doodles. And that's honestly about it.
And
The
so
be-
do
the
you?
rest is a bunch
So do you
of
think
trash.
those
I
guys
don't
are
know.
more talented than Peter and I and our team?
I don't think so. No. Oh, look,
Okay,
I'm
so
not
then how does this
fading
make any
Pudgy,
sense?
bro. I'm not.
This
fading
just
Pudgy.
sounds like
You
physically.
guys are
it's just-
crucifying me for
I'm not
being
crucifying.
a good trader.
No, you be a
I
good
trust
trader,
you
brother.
guys, and I own little
you
Pudgies,
traded your
and I will
friends.
buy big Pudgies, and I will publicly say when I buy little Pudgies.
No, I'm
More
just,
Pudgy.
Mo, I'm just
He's gonna
saying.
make a whole podcast about it. I bought Pudgy Penguins. Here's why. It's just gonna be
I'm
a
gonna
10-minute
buy it on
apology
podcast
video.
live. How about that? Once we do the next podcast,
It's
I'm
just
gonna buy
it's
Pudgies.
different because I promise you I do not care, but I'm just trying to
I
see
know
it from
you don't.
I really
I
know I
know you
really
don't.
don't
I
care.
know
This
you
is all
don't.
just
Of
like a show
course,
for the
of
thing. This is
course.
like
Yeah, I
fun
know.
and games.
I know.
But like I'm just really trying to get your thought process.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like from a trader perspective. Okay, so you have other long-term NFT trades. So though I
Why
gave
are
you
we not your long-term
yeah
NFT
exactly. Like do you really think those like okay like all respect to everybody else, but like really?
Okay, so I'll be pretty honest.
Be
Like,
honest.
The reason why I'm holding other NFTs is not because I truly believe in them, just because I'm down on them. What was that? Pudgy, I
Nice.
was up, so I
So
took
you made
profits.
there you go. That's
Okay,
fair.
like that's
Fair.
really
All right,
okay.
folks.
Like
I respect
Clone X's,
that.
I bought some of those at like 15, 16.
No,
ETH.
dude, those
They're
dudes
at
are
8
cool.
ETH.
Those
They're
dudes are
cool,
great.
but
They're
I'm
great.
down. I'm not gonna sell for a loss. Pudgy, okay, I bought at a great fucking time. I seen great fucking opportunity for profit, so I
That's the
went
best.
out.
That's the
And
best
that's the
reply. That's
only
the best
reason why
response
I
you could have
sold
given.
those.
You couldn't have given a better response
Yeah.
than that, brother. We'll settle it there.
All right, folks, we have to take this away, but make sure you like this video, subscribe to our new YouTube channel. We will be dropping probably once a week.
Don't
Can we
yet.
commit to once a
Don't-
week?
You cannot.
I cannot.
You cannot. I can commit.
Okay. we should try for once a week. Can
Dude,
we?
this was
I'll
actually.
hold
I thought this was gonna be whack. This was like great.
I can hold you
what I'm
guys to
saying.
this.
This was great.
I
That's
can
what I'm
hold you
saying.
guys.
It's a
to
good
this.
crowd.
I can hold you guys.
It's a
to
good
this.
crowd.
I'm
One a
already
week,
doing
yeah.
it.
Can we get 100 likes to drop our next video? Is that
Dude,
possible?
100 likes is easy.
Dude, we'll
That
give
was-
away a little.
Likes.
Pudgy.
Listen, I'm a
I'll
humble
personally
man.
give away a little Pudgy for everybody who likes this, subscribes this, and subscribes to our channel as well.
That's
See,
cap.
I'm gonna take that back.
No, I'll give away a little Pudgy, guaranteed. Easily.
One little Pudgy or 100 little Pudgy?
No, one.
All right, guys. We'll see you on
You
the next
own
one.
the Pudgies, not me.